Hello, 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 everyone. It's Dr. Tamara Beckford, and I am here to welcome you to Inside the EntreMD Business School podcast. Yay! Alrighty, so I have one of my friends here. She is a rock star, and I cannot wait for you to get to meet her. So I'm going to have her introduce herself. She's going to let us know her location and the type of business that she has. Go ahead, Dr. Sarah. Let them know who you are.
All right. Hi, everybody. So I am Dr. Sara Ionescu. I am a board certified family medicine physician, a wife, a mom of four, and an exercise enthusiast.
Mhm.
I am currently building my personal brand on social media and on YouTube by creating exercise content. I am trying to inspire people to move in a way that is simple but able to be consistent and to
Mhm.
see huge wins in their mental and physical health. And I
Love
am
it.
currently located in West Virginia.
Yay! All righty. So, exercise enthusiasts, getting the rest of us up and trying to motivate us to love movement. The thing
Yes,
that I love about it, you're like to really find like joy in movement in not so huge, just daily small movements that you might not have considered that can really have a huge impact on your life, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Alrighty. So some of the things is that you joined the business school and you've been here with us for a few months. But in
Correct.
that time, there's been like a huge change in Dr. Sarah. Go ahead and
Yes,
tell us what are some of your biggest tangible wins that you've had since you've joined the business school?
sure. So, really, I think the biggest tangible wins are I am actually present on social media.
Number one.
Before the, yeah, so that was the most important part. Before the business school, I had like a tiny itty bitty Facebook profile and I just lurked. I never commented. I never really participated anywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
when I joined EBS, it was like, okay, this is going to be step one is overcoming this social media situation. And so I now have LinkedIn, Instagram, my Facebook is much more active, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a YouTube channel.
Wow.
And since joining the business school, I have posted a reel on Instagram and Facebook and a short on YouTube every single day since February. And I've posted a video on YouTube weekly since April. Um,
Wow.
and the other tangible win, I think, anybody that knows Dr. Una, she talks all about visibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of where I jumped in also because I felt like building my brand, that was kind of the biggest thing was to just get myself out there to kind of navigate this path. And so I've been a guest on various different podcasts, lives, all of that. I think it's now 13 times since I started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been all over the place.
Yes, you are definitely stepping out there. And this is from someone, was your profile picture on Facebook you, or was it like an inanimate
No,
object?
it was a picture of my dog.
So
Yep.
we moved from the picture of
Yes.
Sarah's dog to now
Yep.
Sarah is on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. She
Yep.
has daily videos on those platforms and on YouTube. She has a weekly video that's out there. And you've been able to increase your visibility to the point that how many people have now like been joining you on some of these platforms?
Yeah. So my YouTube, of course, started at 0, and
Mhm.
I'm up to over 100 subscribers now. The more wild thing is that I have 30,000 views, which
Wow.
I never thought anybody would watch anything that I created, and so
Mhm.
as I look at that number, which of course we call it a vanity metric because it doesn't necessarily, tell us a ton of information, but
Mhm.
I never thought that many people would be interested in watching what I have to say.
Wow. So now with that moves us from that tangible to that intangible win, right? So what are some of
Yes.
those intangible wins that you'd say that you've had, even just looking and going based on that last sentence? I never thought that people would want to watch what I had to say. Like tell us what that makes you think of about like your intangible wins.
Exactly. So for me, the intangible wins are all about mindset. And
Mm,
literally a month into being in the school, I started to see this shift in myself, this shift in my thinking that I
Mhm.
just never thought could be me. I thought that other people had this and it was like some magic that they had and that I
Mhm.
would never be able to have it. But so, I mean, just a few of them are seeing that the impossible is possible and
Mhm.
knowing that even if you feel like those dreams you have are so big, they are absolutely 100% achievable. And
Mhm.
part of that has to do with seeing others achieving their dreams and they're going at it and they're not letting things stop them. They just keep going. And then
Mhm.
that inspires you to keep going. I think,
Absolutely.
another big one for me, and I think maybe a lot of people have this as physicians, I had that thought all through med school residency, like when I'm in attending, that's it. Like I'm going to arrive, I'm going to
Yes.
be there. I will finally be there.
Mhm.
And it was like those first few weeks seeing patients, it was like, wait, what? Like,
Is
this
this
is
it?
it? Yeah, exactly. I just had that thought. And it was like, even, and this was years ago. This was years before I even knew what the business school was. I had never
Mhm.
heard of Dr. Una, but I just had this feeling like there has to be something more.
Mhm.
And, pivot now, I am able to fully enjoy and appreciate the journey. And there's
Mhm.
not as much a focus on some goalpost where when I get there, I will be
Yes.
able to. It's enjoying the process as you get there. And like we always say in the business school, building your dream life alongside your dream business, which
Yes.
again is something that I never thought was possible. And the last one, like you alluded to, is really just the confidence that I have built in myself because
Mm.
before EBS, again, like that's why I wasn't present on social media. I thought that what I had to say was not important. I didn't think anybody would ever want to listen. And now, because of everything I've learned and done, and my mindset has changed, that confidence is bananas. It's something I never thought was possible for me.
Oh, I love it. And I love seeing the change because there's so many people that are listening and they're feeling the same way. There are so many people who are they're great doctors, they're great people. They have a lot of info and they have a lot of wisdom, but the mind is telling them nobody wants to hear you. And
Right.
so we keep a lot of that inside. But then just taking these small little actions, a little bit at a time, the confidence starts to grow. And then you start to express yourself in whatever way that you feel like expressing yourself, right? And then people are just
Yeah.
like, I want more. I want more of what you have to say. And you're like, really?
Yeah. Are you sure?
Are you sure? Yes. So it's really great seeing you and like all of our colleagues who have taken that next step one after the other and built that confidence and they're going out and they're expressing themselves and then they're effecting change in others, right? Because that's the big
Yeah.
thing. You're affecting change. Now, there's some lessons along the way. So tell us, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned so far being part of the school?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest ones is that I always thought it was all about motivation. Like you
Mm.
had to have motivation to get
Hmm.
started, to keep going. And what I figured out is it's really more about action because, like you were just saying, as you take action in the form of baby steps, it starts to create momentum. And
Hmm.
then you become consistent because you're like, ooh, like that. Now I feel more confident. I got it. Like I'm going to keep going. And
Yes.
so I think there's a lot of talk and focus on motivation, but it's more than that. It's really that action that gives you the confidence and helps you
Hmm.
build to keep going.
Yeah.
Um, Another lesson that I learned a few weeks in was really how much we can choose our
Mm.
thoughts. So things like being inspired by others as opposed to intimidated,
Hmm.
really ultimately that's a choice. Like you can choose when you read something, when you see something, when you're talking with somebody, you can choose how you're going to feel about that. And you can
Hmm.
make that choice to be inspired. And again, that's another really big mindset shift and mindset win that I think a lot of people in the school, experience. And then
Yes.
actually, the book that we're reading this month had a quote that I read this morning. I wrote it down, so I'm going to make sure. So it's, we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflection of experience.
Ooh.
And
Mm,
when I was thinking about the lessons that I've learned, that was a huge one for me because recently, like right before I started the business school, I kind of started getting more into journaling and writing things down. And what I've realized is going back and reading that and thinking
mm.
about how you got to these things, it changes everything for moving forward. And if you don't do that, it's almost like you just keep reliving the same thing because you're not learning from what happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's such a big lesson. And, I guess that's why part of the school we chronicle and, we try to
Yes.
chronicle our quarters. We have the um, reviews. We have the quarterly review, and we have our end of year. And we really try to chronicle because the mind, like we said, the untamed mind is an idiot, right? It will
Yeah.
let
Yep.
you sit in the gap versus really luxuriating in the gain. And we'll really sit and think about all the things we have not done and where we have not gone, and forgetting the journey along the way and all the different steps and all the big what we call wins and achievements that we've had going along the way, and also the time gap. Our mind is not really good with time.
Right.
It
Yes.
really makes it seems as if it's been like so long,
Yes.
or just really really short period of time, depending on if it's giving you a negative view or a positive view of things.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
love it. I love it. Alrighty. So we've talked about like some lessons. Now, how would you say the business school has helped you to achieve some of these goals that you have had over these last few months?
Yeah. So I think the business school is a place that is quite honestly unreal. Like I was, listening to the podcast, I was like, yeah, no way. And then I got there and it was like, oh my word, it is 1000% what everybody describes. So like
Mhm,
the support, the love, the knowledge, the unapologetic nature of everyone that is there just
mhm,
provides this place where I professionally never was able to feel like I belonged somewhere.
mhm,
I always was adjusting somehow to fit in. And this
mhm,
is the first place where I don't feel like I need to do that. I can just show up as myself, whether it's a day that I have wins or lessons or I
mhm,
sobbed about something. Like everybody just accepts you and gives you support and advice.
mhm,
I think that plus the belief that everybody has in you makes you believe in yourself. Like
mhm,
I took a bet on myself. I believed in myself to join the school, but then that belief like exponentially grew because
mhm,
you have instantly all of these people that are just rooting for you every single day and you can show up there no matter what you need and you just
mhm.
feel that. It's like a tangible thing even though for the most part it's a virtual community. So
Yeah.
that's definitely what has helped me be able to do all these things that I've done just since February.
Wow. And for those who are listening and watching this recording, we're recording this in July.
Right.
So
Yes.
this is the July. So this is from February until July. This transformation has occurred, this mindset shift that's occurred, the confidence building, the recognizing that you can have an impact and people want to hear what you have to say. All of this is a shift that has occurred between February and here in July. Now, there's some people that are still on the outside and they're wondering, Dr. Sarah, if, I don't know, is it really like that on the inside? Number one. And is this school for me? I don't know. What do you have to say to those people?
Yeah. So I would say number one, yes, it is absolutely what everything you've heard on the podcast or in the larger EntreMD Facebook group, it is all truth. It literally, there are days where I'll go in there and I'm like, I still can't believe that I get to be part of this community. Like it is that unreal, but it is actually reality.
Yes.
Um, in terms of what I would tell someone that's trying to figure it out, I would say if you have any inkling that this could be the thing that you need, like just do it. Take
Mhm.
action, because that action will explode things. And you don't have to, I was somebody that quite honestly had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't have a business idea. I just knew there was something more out there and I needed to find a way to explore it. And I
Mhm.
took a bet on myself. I believed in myself and said, I'm just going to do this. And I'm still, navigating that journey, but it is becoming clearer and clearer. And
Mhm.
I'm so glad that I took that action. If you're somebody that's methodical and organized and type A, what actually like sealed the deal for me was listening to one of the podcast episodes. I think it's episode 90, where
Mhm.
Dr. Una talked about how you know the business school is right for you and how you know it's not right for you.
Mhm.
And that I think is incredibly helpful because it's
Ah,
so honest in terms of what you need to be bringing to the table, right? Because it's not, we're going to tell you how, we're not going to spoon feed you all the things, but we are going to give you the support and the framework, but you have to show up committed and driven and ready to change. And I
absolutely.
think number one is be coachable. I think that is the biggest piece, is to be ready to be coached and take advice and, do all the things, lean in.
Love it, love it. That's great, great, great advice to those who are listening and thinking about being part of the school, because there are so many great things that happen. And when you're listening to the podcast, when you're listening and you're meeting people in the larger groups, um, it seems unreal.
Hmm.
Like, "Oh my gosh, this can't be real." But one of the things that has happened is that that person has decided to do a couple things, like you mentioned. Number 1, they decided to invest in themselves. Number 2, they decided to be coachable. So they're open-minded and ready to look at things from a different perspective. And there's a
Right.
reason why we call each other the unicorn,
Yeah.
because like we're not looking at life or our business from the typical angle. A lot of creative ideas are coming in, creative ways to deliver the services at the highest level. So, that's what's happening. So, you have to be open to that. And then the other thing is that you have to be ready to do the work. So, the
Exactly.
results are not going to come without work. So, if you're sitting and you're just watching, then you're just going to get sit and watch. When you come in and you're getting like, whoo, whoa, I never thought about that. Wow. And then you go out and you try it and you're just like, "Oh my."
Exactly. Yeah, it's wild.
That's wild. And then here's the thing too, people they will help to support you, and then they'll give you the positive push along the way, letting you know that there is this safety net, that we're here to catch you. And we recognize that, as you alluded to, saying, the dream life and the dream business is what we're trying to get done at the same time. So there are going to be times where your life might feel a little chaotic, or and the business seems to be going right. And then there are times when the business seems to be chaotic and life seems to be going right. But our goal is to try to get both of them as closely as possible and both going right. And that's what we work on here in the school. So people are living dream lives and dream businesses at the
Absolutely.
same time. Love it, love it, love it. So, any last minute words for those before we end this wonderful conversation, Dr. Sarah, for those
Yeah,
listening?
I would just say don't wait for the perfect time because it's not coming. Just do it.
Mhm. Love it. So, listen, the
Yeah,
perfect time is not coming. And we all
exactly.
know this. So
Yes,
if you're ready to take action in your business, if you're ready to really propel yourself forward, if you're ready to be part of a network of physicians who are changing the narrative around business, around entrepreneurship, around physician entrepreneurship, then the business school is definitely the place for you. With that, we're going to end this wonderful conversation with Dr. Sara
yay.
Ionescu. Thank you so much for jumping on. And I cannot wait to see those who are going to come and join us inside the EntreMD Business School. Welcome, welcome,
Yeah.
all lucky people. All righty. We'll see you guys then. Bye bye.
Bye.